Hey, I'm back again, the person with the hands. In my previous video, I showed you how I took a mistake and turned it into something new, because now I'm actually going to offer these half-size cards, which fit into these standard 4" by 5.5" envelopes. Yes, I could use these blanks that come in this kit. The problem is that these blanks are really not suitable for doing watercolors on. The paper is just not good. So this is regular watercolor paper. It's actually 140-pound paper, which is pretty good quality. These need to be 4" this way and 5.5" this way. And what I want to do with the little ones is actually have the artwork bleed off. So we're going to do things differently. I'm marking this at the 4" line and 4" line. What's that saying? Measure twice, cut once. Yeah. Now I'm not going to draw a line because I'm going to use my tape to draw the line. And then I need to measure it 5.5 this way. And 5.5 this way. I'm actually going to go like this. There's 5.5 and 5.5, and you'll see in a minute why I'm doing that. Okay, put my ruler away, out of the way. Get my trusty little paper. Why do I stick this in the middle? Basically, so if I go too wet, I went pretty wet here, that I don't want the water to bleed through to the other side. Now, yes, you're saying, but you used pretty good watercolor paper. Yes, I did. But I always like to double check, double ensure that everything's going to work out to my expectations. So here we are. Let's take this one off, and I'm going to use my lines that I have here to line up that edge. It's not quite straight. There we go. That is straight, and I don't want to attach it to that. Okay, and then of course the other two sides. So this serves, on this particular card, serves two purposes. It tells me where the art is going to end, and I didn't draw a second one on here, but that's okay. Where the art's going to end, and then where the art ends on these cards is where I'm actually going to trim it after the card is made. The bigger ones, if you watched the other day, the bigger cards, I trimmed them first, because those I wanted to have like a framed matted edge type thing. Sorry, I don't have my words some days. So there, now we're all set. Okay, so this one, I'm actually going to use this. I've been using this reference photo for the last two cards, and I'm going to use it for this one also, because there's still another really cool scene in here. I'm going to put my little horizon line in again. I call it a horizon line. Other people might call it something else. Oh, I'm going to put this one all the way across, actually. See, the nice thing is, when you're an artist, even though you have a reference photo and everything is set in a particular place, and you got trees over here and da-da-da-da, doesn't mean you have to leave it like that. You're the artist. That's what art is. Art is interpreting a scene, and you can interpret it literally, or you can interpret it how you envision it. And that is my little kitten making noise there. Major distraction there. Kittens are adorable, but they do demand a lot of attention. And this is not exactly what I thought this was going to be, but this still works. Put that there. And actually, I'm going to put this in the water. It's going to be a little different. Tree. Most of these lines you're going to get covered. It's just an indication of where I want things to go. I'm going to leave it nice and simple on this one. And get my random brush out here again that we talked about earlier. This is my Chinese, it's a Chinese ink brush, which I use differently than initially intended. I'm going to fill in with some washes. And basically I just like to fill it in at the beginning. Your first layer is just to cover. Kind of getting a feeling. And see, I'm not moving the brush in an accurate manner. I'm just allowing it to randomly go across, and I'm allowing the ink to pool in different places because that's going to add some nice interest to that first layer. It took me a really long time to ignore the initial compelling thing for me is to perfection, right? Well, that's just a lot of us is the same. We just want everything to be perfect all the time. So I had to really push back on that. I'm actually gonna, I know this is not gonna dry dark anyhow, but I want to blot out a little bit. A little bit. This is, I'm not gatekeeping here. I'm going to tell you everything that I do. This is a makeup wedge, a sponge makeup wedge. There, you can wash them. The ink does stain them, but it doesn't transfer back in. So I can still use it multiple times. The only time I do really dispose of them is when I'm using them with oil and they get super saturated, and at that point you can't wash the oil out of it. But if anybody knows of a better way of doing this, something a little more earth friendly, I'm all for it. So there, we got my first layers in on this one now too. And yeah, come back to see second layers on these.